Dbotnik, a YouTuber that wishes to learn the magic of Star Wars, sets out on a journey to watch the original trilogy for the first time. It is here he learns that even the first movie kinda does the recap thing for events that technically didn't happen yet, and he walks away again with the biggest question of all. Why were these things never narrated? Fall in line, Roboticized Nation, it's May the 4th, or Revenge of the 5th, whenever this video actually came out. Specifically, welcome to a new series on the channel called Watching Popular Things in Insert Year. In it, I go look at all the things people recommend to me or call required viewing to be any kind of media buff. Everybody and their grandma is confused why I've never watched Star Wars and the holiday came up, so yeah, we have a first episode. Here's how this is gonna go down. I'm not the expert on these, so recapping the plot to you guys or over-explaining stuff like that doesn't really seem like the MO of this particular series. So I'm gonna take the role of the Padawan, the newbie, your best friend that you wanted to just sit down and watch a movie with for the first time, and we're gonna try to capture that feeling in a bottle. The ever-present just pop a can of soda feeling of, God, I wish my friend or I could re-experience something again for the first time. Boom, you got a series. Oh yeah, before I forget, I'm not playing with Disney's lawyers. I got Lego footage. Enjoy! Part of me was surprised to not immediately hear Star Wars music. I guess I expected that magic of, wow! There it is, I'm awake now. So, even though I did the text crawl joke, I got left with the question, was it always there? Did episode 4 always have a text crawl? I mean, I'd assume, because it's expecting the thing. It's explaining the thing up front. So, I don't think it's 3 came out, we need to explain Rogue One that's gonna happen in 20? I have no clue on time. Talking about that magic and trying to find it, I guess I looked for it too early because straight up in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is just shootouts. If you don't like shootouts, this isn't for you. The whole ooh, romanticized Obi-Wan, I need your blah 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 seed, that's there. It's just a lot of shooting in the beginning. Oh yeah, so I honestly, I know that a lot of people have that Star Wars lore on lockdown, but I really felt that kind of obvious years older than my existence in this universe. Yeah, it's my 5 minutes deep, obviously, but even I feel like a true time watcher, going into this film, there's not really a lot to culturally as an Earth human latch onto, I guess was what I was kind of feeling there. So I know that there's edits, I know that there's redos, I know that there's all kind of re-releases and stuff, but how much of the CGI, was any of the CGI here before? And if so, did it look that bad? Did it get worse? Were these things, why are they, I don't they all, none of it, from my memory, no CGI actually increases the experience of any scene besides maybe the scooters I'll see later. The tauntauns, the increasing the speed of submarine, to look on that, didn't improve any experience. Seeing the, what are they called, band, the big buffalo thing, those, I don't remember what the CGI was at this point, but it just doesn't, none of it in seeing the things go in front of the people and oh, this is a more bustling city or something, that doesn't improve the experience. It's just distracting. Oh yeah, I don't know if it was just a weird extras thing or not, but I thought Jawas only got yay tall. What's up with the human tall in a suit? Did I miss something? Are these the children and that's the adults, or that's the major adult? I have so many questions. If anyone wants to fill me in in all the comments. It takes Luke Skywalker 17 minutes and 10 seconds to be on screen. For a person that is and or became the face of Star Wars, yeah, I know it's a whole crew, but at the time of this, I'm thinking about the fact that Mark Hamill spoke at a presidential thing, and it just makes me go, yeah, people view Luke Skywalker as Star Wars. Yeah, he doesn't miss a minute later, but right now, he's not the focus of his original film until a decent bit in. I didn't expect, it was wait, that I didn't expect to sit around with robots and Jawas and do all these other things. I thought we were gonna be at that I thought we were going to be at him sooner and the sons later. So, like, that was interesting. Oh yeah, is the primary economy of the Jawas picking up bots in the desert, selling them to farmers who, like, I guess probably have a stable business practice or something. Like, I'm not gonna hark on moisture farming on Tatooine because, like, I imagine that's something. I don't understand how like, I get it, different cultures, different things and stuff. Like, I don't, like, is that a stable business model? Picking up bots in the desert and selling them to other desert people? Like, is this what you do before space travel or something? I don't get it. Oh yeah, apparently Uncle Owen, before his, like, real first scene on screen, has been so super subtle that Luke has never caught on to a single ounce of his heritage, history, or prowess. Minute on screen, he's apparently blowing it wide open. Just... Bro, it cannot... Oh, it's fun. It was so funny. So, I'm gonna talk about this quick side thing in movies. Like, especially, I'm gonna point to John Williams because I always hear this, like, feeling and stuff with him. But, like, it's almost any soundtrack. But, like, I kind of associate it to the idea of, like, musical manipulation. And I'm asking, like, movies are a multimedia format. That's undeniable. And they've only gained more media as, like, technology improved. But in the same aspect, like, don't people always bring up the fact, like, a lot of people bring up the fact, it's like, well, you can even see how powerful a movie is by muting it. Like, and you could see, like, if you could still follow what's on screen and stuff like that. And, like, that expresses, like, the idea of the sons and the moment. It's not, like, I get that, but, like, what does it mean when the music is most of the power of the scene, or what people remember, or, like, are you just feeling the power of the orchestra, or is the scene good? Becomes, like, a interesting question I feel like some people should ask themselves. Not as if, like, liking the orchestra means anything negative to you. It's just, it always makes you wonder, like, should you be complimenting the movie or the soundtrack kind of thing? Also, I remember hearing a cool thing that people would do before we had VHSs and stuff like that, movies were still a thing, reels were still a thing. Some people, like, owned reels and stuff, but, like, what a lot more people got left with was buying soundtracks and novelizations and comic books, and they would just sit there and listen to the soundtrack of the film and imagine it again. And, like, that's cool. Like, I'm much more thankful to, like, just have the thing now. But at the same time, like, that's a cool experience that, like, someone seems to have had in human history. I don't know if anybody has not been around Star Wars people. Like, I almost wonder if that's near impossible now. So, like, I've heard bits, I've heard tidbits, I know some jokes and riffs, and, like, there's plenty of podcasts where I just have to fast forward on to not get spoiled before, like, a video like this was possible. But, like, now I kind of want to go back or ever ask one of those people, hey, how many Obi-Wan speeches ever got retconned in the entire franchise? Because, like, I think I talk about it later in my notes, but even the beginning sentiment of stormtroopers are deadly sights and stuff like that that doesn't last a movie. They can't shoot around a corner, bro. I think, because this is just the point, I think if I remember correctly from all the movies, the only true casualty I remember from a stormtrooper blast, which was off screen and told to you later that it was a stormtrooper, was C-3PO. One of the little teddy bears might have been shot too, but as far as I remember, the only casualty of, like, at least the hero side is that we ever see the original trilogy is C-3PO getting blasted to bits, and he's still, like, operational once he's put back together. They only, like, pulled his little toy string and made his parts pop out. Forget which toy that did that. Yeah, it was always funny. It's one of those things I heard got memed to death. I never heard that was a meme, but oh yeah, the boardroom scene. That sure is subtle about what's gonna happen to their ship later. This movie, I don't know if you'd say this movie drowns in subtlety, but, like, I feel like any rewatcher knowing anything about Star Wars, which again I've expressed as what are those impossibilisms? Because, like, look, if I asked you like any Joe Smo, I almost feel like maybe we're getting past the age gap. I kind of doubt it in this moment, because, like, it's not like Star Wars has disappeared. Like, it's not like the Looney Tunes being put on the back shelf a little bit and therefore maybe a kid doesn't know Bugs Bunny or something. This is, like, the thing that gets pushed by everybody everywhere. So it's like, if I hit you with say a Star Wars quote, Luke, I am your father. May the Force be with you. Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. Like, if it's not a parody, if it's not the thing, if it's not Lego, if it's not something you've heard, you've seen a Star Destroyer, you've seen a this, you've seen a that. I don't know. It's just one of those things. things where it's like, I don't even know if you can watch this. Like, I think I would come with one of the answers is like, at least in movie 4, subtlety has come to die if you know anything about the future. And in the same breath, I feel like you can kind of just notice they're telling you what's going to happen later in the movie anyway. Back on Tatooine, why did we need to fridge his aunt and uncle? Like, did they have to die for him to go? Because, like, I get it. He's like, help me with the moisture farm again for another year. It's like, you can go to the academy next time. Yeah, but if, like, a wizard man that they knew, supposedly, I don't know if he does or doesn't, that's one of those fucking Kenobi things that makes you just go, hey, if the wizard that's supposed to be protecting you and you know that and he watch over you and he comes to go, hey, it's time, I don't think they're gonna go, no, I think he needs the moisture farm for another year. Like, they would have let him go. That would have been sad, but like, I don't think we had to fry him to bits to move the plot along. Oh yeah, and once they're dead, like, we gotta kick the plot in overdrive now. And once the plot kicks in, guys, finally, jizz. I don't care what Disney says. Jizz is the most magical name for the combination of music you have enacted. Bite me. It's funny. Also, it's jazz mixed with something else that I can't remember, so therefore, jizz. Also, jizz wouldn't mean the same thing all across the galaxy. I could believably believe that they would call it jizz, because maybe they don't ejaculate. I don't know. You don't know what other... Oh god, I go into a whole rant about alien biology in movies and how people want to make them just so human so you can understand. Like, I get that. I really do. Because, like, I talked about feeling foreign in the concept, but, like, I feel like emotions and survival and stuff like that is a better connect than we have the same cardiovascular system. We digest food the same way. Like, yeah, every conclusion doesn't need to be, why are you shaking my hand? Those are my 5 testicles. Like, it doesn't have to be that, but I don't know, if something's reptilian, why does it have a million parts, right? Like, it's always bugs me a little bit. Oh, now we get to talk about people not speaking like common or an associated language. So, like, I kind of push for the idea of common to be a thing, a lot of things. I get that you can make something feel way more like an alien planet, and that's good for your environment. Explain to me how it is a positive impact on your audience. How is your experience hearing the conversation between Han and the guy I can't remember that might have shot first? How do you benefit in that scene by not understanding one person in the scene? How in Thor 2 do you benefit watching a whole scene spoken I don't want to say made up because I know people pull stuff from languages like in the real world to make these kind of languages, but like, how do you benefit from not understanding 2 people talking in a conversation and that being the scene? Unless someone's supposed to be like, I guess you could argue someone feeling foreign in a scene, but like, it genuinely can't advance the plot because nothing that is happening is discernible by the audience itself. I'm not pushing for the idea that everybody needs to speak common. And in case you don't know why I'm saying common, it sometimes sounds less dumb than saying everybody should speak English, because like, even in the real world, everybody doesn't speak English. But like, that's where subtitles come in. Now, I know some people are afraid to look down a couple inches and read, but like, some of us want to know what's going on and we're willing to take that sacrifice. So if you could maybe hard code that in or make it an option if I turn CC on, that would be Pog. And sometimes that did happen. Other times it did not. That's all I'm saying. Also, that reminds me, there's apparently like a cut of Star Wars where in which Chewie just spoke with like, I think like a Brooklyn accent or something? Yeah, that's why Han sounds like he's responding to him so well, because Chewie apparently, before the got put in, was just speaking English. And I kind of want to watch that cut of Star Wars because that amuses me. We spend way more time with the Empire than I ever expected in this film. Like, I imagine the bad guys got presents because Darth Vader's like as big a part of Star Wars as Luke is. But I didn't think we'd like be with just people, like all these people like all the time talking about things and stuff. It's like, yeah, I know the Senate's going to be a thing in the next one when I watch these next year. And they truly range from nothing burgers to like super interesting. I wrote nice of the plot to really start picking up on the moon reveal base. I don't exactly know what that means, but I mean, good on the plot to do that. Oh yeah, there's this pure mythical Highlander-ish feeling to Jedi that I think is only in the 4th one, from what I could tell. Like this, there can only be one Sith limited, last of the mythical, you sir, you're the last of your crazy race, sir, stuff like that. And I don't know, it's I was okay with it. Like, it was alright. It wasn't like I imagine as a lore fiend, it's something way more interesting than just guys get lightsabers off screen because we say so, but I don't know. I never watched Highlander either, so put that one on the list. Oh, yes! So, I've been talking for such a minute, and there's a real point I gotta bring up. I cannot recommend this movie to epileptic people. Like, period. The version I saw on Disney Plus burned my eyes. Like, every blaster fight is painful to watch, and I don't know if that might be my eye sensitivity. That could be the way like 70s something or whatever film, because isn't the last one in 83 transferred into a digital age? But I gotta say that so people that haven't sat down to watch Star Wars can know what to expect. Like, hey, maybe some sunglasses are a look away when you see a blaster get shot, because like once that thing lands, pew, it's painful. Hey, the trash compactor scene happened. Yeah, it happened. I mean, I've always known about that one. That's when I saw it in like a Star Wars. It's one that gets like put in advertisements. It happened. It's interesting. A lot of people yelling. Not a well paid off trash monster. Also, I think people have joked about this. That thing definitely died at one point during one of the Death Star explosions. I've already talked about those deadly shooting stormtroopers. So we're the Darth Vader fight. Your powers have grown weak, old man. Bro, you've clashed for 5 seconds and he did a whole ballerina spin. You are so full of it. I'm going to tell you you're weak and you suck. Bro, he literally like styled on you. No. No, he is going super hard for his old age. Oh yeah, and now the fight is over because Star Wars 1 is not really about lightsabers. Star Wars 4, which is the first, which don't know why he did this. So yeah, that's 3 bridgings to get Luke on his journey. I guess at least one was consensual, but sheesh, my guy. Pew, pew, pew. I hope you stop liking people and are lasting. Bro, may the Force be with you has let your heart be your guiding key energy so bad because it just gets thrown in there. Like it's just like the Force is mystical, the Force is unknown. You're the last of your kind. Fucking may the Force be with you. Bro, what? Like, I get it, it's a religion, it was popular, people believe in stuff, and this, so on and so forth, and it's like, maybe that was just an older guy that knew an older thing, but like, I don't know his backstory, do you? Oh yeah, I want to give Georgie the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know what his plan was during 4, and I don't know what his plan was during 5. I have a good idea of his plan during 6, considering the movie can't keep quiet about it. Luke gets a lot of kisses from his sister before that reveal. Like a lot, like a more than a one-time thing that I thought it was. It's like, oh, that one time as I kissed my sister, that was kind of nuts. Like, that was weird. Nah, I think if I don't want to, like, he knows the number, that's weird. I think I remember like 4 or 5 times they do that, and one of them's like in front of Han. Somebody tell me, because the movies say it both ways. I've mostly heard people say Han Solo, but the movie's like Han Solo, and I'm like, you guys decide, I guess. I'm gonna keep saying Han Solo because that's what I know. The editing and pacing at the end of the dogfight feels like a different film. Flat out, dogfights are such a big part of Star Wars, and in its first movie, it feels so much like a different movie all of a sudden. Oh yeah, so like, I guess I could bring up, I'm not really that into 4. 4 isn't what it's like, I know some people are like, 4's the magic, 4's the start. It's like, I don't know if it's just the cogs aren't in place, I don't like how it's telling, its pacing might be not my style, but like, I weirdly end up with the most emotional thing for me in the whole film. Is 3PO being willing to donate his parts after him and R2, like, knock on each other all the time. Like, they're like just this old married couple. They're never beating the allegations, and it was just like, you bucket of bolts, you this, you that, you beep, 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 beep. How dare you say that about my mother? And then like the minute the other one's in danger, I'll donate my parts. I'll do whatever it takes. He can't die. It's like, oh, they know their vibe. I like that. Oh yeah. I now present to you 2 named characters, the medals of protagonism. That end scene is weird. I get it. They're saying thank you. It's a valid enough way to end a film. I don't get it. What about the other dog fighters? Why that? It's just a medal of protagonism. Also, yay, R2 got repaired and the movie's over. Yeah, like I said a minute ago, like I don't find the magic in 4, and maybe that's not what I should be looking for, but like, that feels like the point of this series, you know, to look at what's so popular, what's this, what's that, why does it have its grip on the, like, the balls of society and stuff like that, and I guess I got 2 more movies to find it. Dbotnik. Dbotnik. What is it, Master? You must go to the next films. I wasn't even that into the first one, though. You must go to the Empire Strikes Back system. Transitions! Sometimes the hardest thing for YouTubers to decide in a video, but not this one. It comes with a built-in next part format! So, like, does the text crawl know that I can't read it, like, all the way up there? Like, it knows that, right? Like, it could just go to the next scene. Is it easier to, like, read in theaters? Like, is it just that big? But, like, I don't know. Bugs me in the waste of time. It reminds me of Superman, which also starts too slow. Luke decided it's his movie, so he shows up earlier. Oh, I didn't really talk about this as much, but, like, because, like, the debt was what was pushing Han in the last movie. So, like, it is utterly baffling that, like, he hasn't paid it yet. Like, that was his main motivation in the last film, and I get he's like a changed, like, renewed person that believes in the cause and stuff, but like, or whatever, but like, what are you, Butterfree, man? If you leave, you can't come back? Like, fucking drive, man. Hyperdrive it. Fucking take a little cruise around the galaxy. Are you like that wanted of a man? Because like at that point, you were never gonna, I don't know. If you were already, yeah, weren't you like a bounty hunter? Like you weren't wanted, you were known, like this day is not, fuck, whatever. Oh yeah, now we're just really pushing Han and Leia now. Like that is a bygone that's a bygone conclusion now, I guess. Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of the edit wipes. I just don't. I think they scuff up the pacing, if I'm being honest. I guess I realized like it was probably inventive and new for the time as far as like the film reel, but I don't know. I feel like they'd be better gone. I don't know what healing tunes means anymore. What did I write that for? I'm realizing it might be better next time to watch a movie, take my notes, record, then go to the next one, and then have like a thing at the end where I talk about everything. Like that might be the better idea than not knowing what healing tunes means. Was it a joke about somebody healing? I don't know. Yep, kissing scene made me vomit a little bit. I know I have the virtue of time and the presence of knowing their blah blah blah, but so did the writer. Oh yeah, I like Darth Vader's, like, I get some people like Darth Vader as a lapdog, but like this commanding presence that I know him as the leader of the ship and like giving the orders and stuff like that's, or at least that's what I feel like I've known him, or whatever he is, but like he's a lapdog in the first movie, and he's a lapdog for the Emperor in the next one, but like this one, like he brings the sauce. But also, what is up with his ball? He is in a ball, and it's like his room, and maybe it heals him and puts on parts, but supposedly we talk about later if any of the parts remove, he'll die. So, oh, wild that force choking apparently only has like a visual component. Like with enough power, presence, and force in the universe, like if you can see someone or the location they're at, just choke. I don't remember who Dak is, but I apparently called him dying. Apparently it's super obvious. Oh yeah, Dak was the ship pilot guy, wasn't he? I figured he was gonna, yeah. I don't know why those ships operate on 2 people. Also, I don't remember in the Lego footage him dying. I guess you guys will see, or I'll see, or whatever. Speaking of pilots, all these rogues, nice of them to leave room for Rogue One to still be canon. Haha, funny Star Wars joke. Oh yeah, I guess I mixed up, for those that I feel like Biggs and Wedge being a Star Wars reference is a bigger thing to Final Fantasy fans than Biggs and Wedge being in Final Fantasy. Like I think one turn of the dial is more important than the other to like the different fan bases. But like, Biggs and Wedge are Star Wars reference in Final Fantasy. For those that don't know, I definitely mixed up who died because I thought Wedge died, but no, Biggs isn't referenced, so I assume Biggs died. Super important, I don't know. Oh yeah, so Vader like slowly builds a swagger over the original trilogy, but I'd say the way he, like his walk is in this one, I feel like he commands more presence, it's more important, he's not following behind a person usually and stuff like that, so it's like, I care more? Oh yeah, I guess I never really understood how much of a junker the Millennium Falcon is. Like, for being such this iconic ship of Star Wars, like, it's like supposedly a lemon with broken parts and stuff, but like, I also remember in school reading a book about the history of Millennium Falcon, so I guess I should have realized because of just how old and how many hands it passed like that, but I guess it just never really clicked till those couple lines were said. Oh yeah, so I don't know why, and this is probably just a graphic design oddity to me. We established like blue means good guy, like pretty early in Star Wars, and red means bad guy and stuff like that. And there's all these color associations and stuff like this and stuff like that, and they try to like kind of keep it true to that. But for some reason, the Star Destroyer's windows are blue, like noticeably blue in a lot of the movie, and it makes me go, well, yeah, I guess they're not going to be red, but at the same time, why are they blue instead of like yellow or white or something that's like innocuous with light being on in the ship instead of just being noticeably blue? I don't know, it's weird to me. Oh yeah, I've seen fanfic shippers be more subtle than the Han X Leia. I'm gonna try not to hammer that too hard, but oh brother. Ah yes, we've made it to Yoda. Yoda is on some gremlin energy and I am here for it. He is great. Love Yoda. Oh, right. Can't stick with Yoda too long. Back to the Empire. And that man died in the middle of communications. Holy shit. They were in the middle of talking and he fucking died. And no one cared. Oh, so here's where a really in-depth research thing kind of went in. We're back on, I think, is Dagobah? We're back on the Yoda, where Yoda lives, and we're talking about, like, the idea that, like, Jedi mostly operate in defense. And I found that odd, because then, like, I guess the Sith could just have, like, a corrupted version of their weapon, and maybe just more lore later made this make less sense, but, like, why? What is this idea that it needs to be a sword? Because a light shield would actually kind of yield better results if you think about it. Now, inarguably, I looked it up, and I think in the Star Wars TTRPG, they do mention there, and there's like kind of a reference to somebody using it in history. And I feel like most people just don't like it, from what I could tell, because they think it would be like the shields in the prequels. But usually when you say light shield, that's not what you're talking about. You're not talking about this full body, like you're not talking about a shield as tall as you. You're talking about like a round shield. Like something that's going to go probably the width of your forearm, but a little bit longer and then circle down. You can obviously change its size because it's made of light, and I thought of it would be cool if it had a middle metal so you could kind of bonk people with it instead of just always slashing people. If somebody's using a sword made out of light and you have a shield made out of light, they're not really, as far as I can understand it scientifically, those two energy things only need to negatively resonate or just exist at all, and then you're not really going to get that through it without like a lot of force. Force. So, I don't know, I just find that weapon like super cool as an idea, like to actually do a light shield. Like, why does everything need to be a lightsaber? Because like, you can block a lot more blasters with a light shield than a lightsaber, and no one's that sparing on blaster shots in this universe. My friend Requiem brought up a point that maybe it's just lost Jedi tech as an idea, and I'm like, oh, that could be something lost to the ages. And the way it was phrased, it was used as training tech for younglings, and I'm like, bro, everybody should use that. Yeah, light shield. There are a lot of random Earth reptiles on Yoda's planet. Like, you could probably ask me, like I don't want the animals painted blue, that would be dumb. But like, why does it need to have an iguana in that shot? Why does Luke need to walk past like 3 different Earth snakes? Like, it seems weird to do, and kind of mostly just endangering the actors and the animals. Oh hey, it's that weird choppy dream sequence that you can psychologically analyze a bunch of ways. And I don't know if anyone's ever come to a true answer, if George ever said anything about it. But like, yeah, I'd need to watch it more times. But I guess I'll say it's, I guess, worry becoming the bad person that you could be. Whatever. Not going into that today. Oh yeah, not really sure how well you can say the Han subplot of this movie actually kind of goes, because the only tension for a long time is based on whether or not the light speed is accessible. That's all you got going for you. Oh, it's the balancing scene. I remember the balancing scene from the Lego games. Yay. Oh yeah, they pretty much just spoil the next Han scene because the Force can kind of see the future. And like, it's a fascinating way of like setting up tension, like either positive or negative your result of vary. I don't know, it just didn't. Oh, that's such a fascinating thing to like be like, oh yeah, we can always look at the future, except for not really that certainly, and we're never really gonna mention that much, and blah blah blah. Like I already said, R2-D2 and 3PO never beating the married couple allegations. I wrote something funny, but I don't know who I said it for. Because the joke could either go to Palpatine or Darth Vader, either to Darth Vader or to Luke. But essentially, Dad, this is a really dramatic way to say I can't hang out with my friends. I wish I knew who I said that about. It's funny. Oh yeah, Boba Fett's ship is dumb. Like, I already talk about, like, the dinner seat or, like, the this or the that, but, like, I brought up earlier the 3PO fucking shot. His ship is really dumb. I don't understand why it flies like that. What benefit does he gain? I'm assuming someone got their arm ripped off, and I said he disarmed him. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm saying. Wait, I know what scene this is. This is the, Luke, I am your father. See, I told you we'd get there. Oh my god, he disarmed him. Oh my god, did you know Vader means father, I think in German? Anyway, Luke fell into a lot of holes by the end. So did R2-D2 now that I think about it. On that note, in case I don't cover it later, so much. Here's like three of the most prominent things in Star Wars for like those that haven't pieced this together. You gotta have a dogfight. A scene must entirely depend on R2-D2 sticking his dick in a wall, and lightsabers. You don't need the lightsabers that bad, which is why they're at the third, but the people like them, so now they're necessary. Also, the Lego game also agrees with me. The Lego game pretty much agrees with me on the R2-D2 sticks his hold the wall thing, because if anybody looks at the footage on the TV, you'll probably have noticed a couple times that straight up just the entire Lego puzzle is save the droids, stick their dicks in things. Oh, I thought he ended up with a robot hand. It's just a normal hand with a robot on the inside. I mean, it's a skin graft or whatever, but like that's, I guess that was to save budget. I thought he had a metal hand. This is me. I like robotics. I have no idea in the universe where they are to look at a star cluster to look like that. And see, that's how a movie with... I wrote a Spider-Verse burn at the end of this, and I don't feel it that much because I got stuff to do and all this other editing, and I don't want to get started on the other fights. I'll deal with that later. Finally enjoying a Star Wars film, Dbotnik is hopeful for what Episode 6 can bring to the table. Will it be more dogfights? More lightsabers? More awkward romance? Did they really wait till the third movie for the sister thing? Only time and the movie will tell. Return of the Jedum? I wrote like 2 pages on it. So with the way everything has been established, like up front, you can tell the Emperor when he arrives. Like genuinely, that's like a good striking fear moment. Like you know this man's danger, his lives, his problems. That's all I'm saying. Luke presenting himself as a stronger force in the universe, I find to be an interesting progress. We've gone from a farm boy to a dude that knows what he's kind of doing, at least on average. They threaten the droids like a lot, and as a bit of a robot advocate in the way that like the ones that kind of show enough sentiency to not want harm, that's not, at least the CGI looks like it belongs in this one. It was very important that when we went outside the castle, a frog the size of Jabba ate a creature. I just want to establish that next time you watch Return of the Jedi, that is super important. Like, if that wasn't in the film, I don't know what we'd do. Talk about plot integral. Like, if that didn't happen, oh boy. And for those mad at sarcasm, that was another shot at the CGI. Someone who loves you. What the fuck, Leia? That doesn't narrow it down. That doesn't, like, make it obvious. If I was blind and it was, like, someone who loves you, I'd be like... Fucking what? Like, especially if you're like, they're still in kind of a budding relationship. He went on ice last film. I didn't even talk about him going on ice. Whatever, he went on ice. Carbonite. Blah, blah, blah. This series loves the phrase delusions of grandeur. I feel like, I don't know if I'd say it was in every single movie, but I definitely acknowledge, like, my brain registered just how many times it was said. So I'm definitely gonna have to get, I am 6 movies and like 2 years away from like really knowing the answer to this. But the whole Luke's a goody gumdrop, see the good in everybody people, really, I don't see them bringing up the idea that like Luke Luke's out here force choking people at the beginning of this film. Just saying. Oh yeah, so like in learning that Star Wars apparently inspired by like Flash Gordon, and to be like the Flash Gordon of like that generation. Like kind of like went and did a little bit of research on that, just learned to see what Flash Gordon was, and I was showing the theme song to Requiem. I realized that Leia's outfit might be more of a reference than just a bikini, and I don't know if many people like think about that or know about that, or maybe that's the time scales are weird and Flash Gordon made a movie later and referenced Star Wars. It's a thing. Look into it. That doesn't make it any less loose and objectifying. So I know Han Solo is important, but a lot of the runtime has been dedicated to this rescue plan. Oh my god. My goodness. They killed the Rancor, and they like actually showed me the Rancor Wrangler crying. The Rancor just wants to eat. The Wrangler just loves his Rancor, and I hate this scene. I don't know, this is like deemed like one of the coolest things in like Star, like, oh, the Rancor bit or the scene, rah, we'll even recreate it in Legos. Like, no, I feel bad for the Rancor Wrangler. He's crying. He's just a dude doing his thing. On to the further talk of animals. How do you know, in any way, that it takes 1,000 years for that thing to digest something? I get it's probably just a cool thing to say, but also, you speak alien language to look cool and have lore, so you can't just be like, oh yeah, somebody lived, like you got to be like, yeah, somebody lived long enough to just see it poop, and then like the bones of like a guy like 1,000 years ago like came out, like it's like, it's weird to me. I don't like it. I feel like it's such a throwaway line of something like no one could know in my thoughts. Like the amount of research someone would have to do on that particular subject is insane, and as well as the lifetime out here Hojo fucking breeding people so you can fucking keep researching. I don't know. They turned R2-D2 into a drink coaster, you monsters! Oh, so the green was between films? Did bro go to Ilum or wherever that's called and find a kyber crystal and stuff like that? Like, I saw the games. I know they're not exactly tight on the Ilum lore, but okay. He just did that between films. Got it. Hey, look, Boba Fett dying like a bitch. What a cool guy. Sure hope he's a main focus of the fan base. Look, he's got a cool backpack. I get the helmet's nice. I get his son exists, and he might show up in a different... I don't get it, guys. I don't. I have never thought that, like, Shadow's the end-all be-all, and, like, Knuckles is alright, and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. It's like, Vegeta's cool, but he's not, like, the only thing that exists. Like, that's one of those things for me. I don't know. Don't shoot him in his robot hand. That's just rude. Explosions! Whoopoo! Boop, boop, boop. Blowing up ship. Pew, pew, pew. What was this movie about again? I have completely forgot. It's a long rescue scene. Okay, so here's a scene where they talk about who owes what to who, and, no. According to your records, Han, he still owes you one, and he has now paid one of those back. Luke still owes him one. I'm holding to that. Patience. Wasn't that like the whole thing a Sith doesn't have in the last movie? Wasn't it like, Luke, if you fucking don't be patient, you will be a Sith. And now it's like, patience, Lord Vader. It's like, what? I get it's a phrase colloquial, but you get what I'm going at. I don't know, bitch, do I look like I'm dying means, but somebody will figure that out. Confront Vader, and you will be a Jedi. I don't think other Padawans had it this hard, Master. Huh, another Skywalker, huh. Sure hope it's not Leia. The candle went out because he's dead. And now we see dead people. Okay, cool. How does Luke get to the sister conclusion, and why is he not immediately vomiting? Vomiting, it's just a misunderstanding or their confusion, but like, I don't know, he doesn't have a negative reaction in any way, and I feel like most people would inherently have like a negative reaction. I have a question for the Resistance. Ma'am, who are you? So was there like a Team Han versus Team Luke back in the day for Leia? I know we'd have the internet and all that, but like, was there like newspaper articles or anything that was like talking about like teenage girls or whatever, like fighting over who Leia should be with, or like dudes being like, that I want Leia to bone Luke because I identify with Luke, or I want Leia to bone Han because I identify with Han. Fuck. Hit him with the, hey baby, how would you like to have my last name? I already do. What? Or, I don't think I want to be flying solo no more. Oh, what will your name be now? Well, it's, with Leia, you make flirting hard. And Vader is a stooge again. Oh, I know what this means now. So, they go into the forest on the mission, and like... C-3PO is just golden as the day is long in the forest, and I realize now it's because they wanted to do the golden god thing later, but it's really bad for stealth when you think about it. Also, I started talking about Harrison Ford acting weird during like the entire invasion scenes, and I think I pinpointed that later by the thing of, I think Indiana Jones got too popular, and therefore he might have been asked to act more indie-like instead of Han-like for the last film just because of success. But maybe that's supposed to be him changing to like I don't know, his face is just wackier and he does things I didn't think he'd say in the previous films. And I mean, I get character growth and stuff, but it just seems, he doesn't even feel like the same person from like the first half of the film. And maybe it's carbonite sickness, I don't know. This is weird to me. Oh yeah, the teddy bears! Is introducing them technically a backdoor pilot, or was like the oh god, I don't remember their species name. Was the teddy bears cartoon like so much later that that's not even a good joke, or was it soon enough that it's they wanted those things to be popular? Oh wait, yeah, we were attacking a military base before. Never mind, scatter. Back on the Empire, bro is still gaslighting this man. I know enough about the prequels to know that like fucking Palpatine is on some mad gaslighting game, and he is still on that into this man's adulthood, pure slavery agreement. Like he is, I am your underling and I agree with you and I work with you, and he's still like, no, I don't like you. You're a baby. You're stupid. Make me look cool. Win my approval. Ooh. It's like, shut up. Oh yeah, so like I guess I wrote, why did any of that trap scene happen? But I guess the answer still just keeps coming back to, we wanted the teddy bears in the movie. I think they called it Ewoks. Were they? I don't want to say like that was Ewokies or Wookiee or what. I think they were Ewoks. I'm just bad with names. I'm realizing that all these weird scenes that are happening in the forest is just to kind of get us to the teddy bears to prove a point, and I'm left to go, wait, are we only doing the teddy bear scene because Indiana Jones got popular? And I keep spiraling on that point. Here, I would say it's about exactly at this like pinpoint mark where I could start to feel like the legend of Star Wars is like started like creeping into the mainstream, because we straight up stopped the film to describe to the Ewoks the plot of the previous two films. Just saying. So was the Leia stuff ever actually supposed to pay off? Not mind you, I know about the pulling thingy in the later movie in the space, and I've like seen how goofy that looks or whatever, but like, is that it? Was that supposed to be some sequel in the future or some nonsense that pays off like that, or was she supposed to take Darth Vader in a different script? Or maybe I need to look at the Star Wars comic or whatever. Like maybe it did pay off in some people's mind. I just don't feel like it did do much of anything besides kind of be another weird fridge threat for Luke, because like I'll get to that later scene I guess, but I don't even remember the fight scene. I remember him just like, oh, maybe I'll convert your sister. It's like, what the hell is happening? Somehow I've always known. Not the phrase I would use for a guy I've kissed before telling me we are siblings, but I guess Leia just roll that way. Oh yeah, the lightsaber editing definitely improved in this one. I don't know if I talked about it as much as the first one, but the lightsaber editing in 4 is kind of bad during certain scenes. I'm going to turn you evil. We'll both be dead before that. Goes kind of hard, if not gonna lie. If somebody looked at me and went, I'm gonna make you a bad guy, and then my response gets to be, we'll both be dead before that happens. Like, not in a vague way, not in a I'll fight you to the death way, in a genuine we'll both blow up and that will be it situation is crazy. I orchestrated everything as it had happened. Classic manipulator. Oh, by the way, you rebel scum is presented to the most throwaway scene, and I feel like it burrowed its way into people's brains in the wildest way. Like, I feel like it's like rebel scum is like such a thing people say to like mean the Empire, but like just one guy seems to have just said it in one scene one time, and he wasn't even that important. Oh my god, hey, he's in the meme, it's a trap, woo! Oh yeah, I feel like Palpatine is the perfect bad guy to a kid, and a total wiener to an adult, or maybe just someone that like knows psychological stuff. Cause like, yeah, he controls the Force prodigy, and he says all these things, but those are kind of just words, bro. Like he just got his words. Bro is an old man in a chair, and he can and will be taken. Like, not in just the I know the heroes are gonna win kind of way, but in like the I know he got hurt in the past. He was just a chancellor before. That is like, he may have a good connection to the Force, but like everybody around him supposedly has it better. His biggest thing is I control the cool guy, and then the cool guy goes and kills him. So like, I feel like this further proves my point, but I don't know. know, your friends in the moon will die. You didn't anticipate them making friends with teddy bears, old man. Teddy Ruxpin about to hand them their asses. So is there just like some generalized feelings that like Vader can use in the Force to like to like just know what Luke is like thinking or kind of feeling, or is he straight up reading this man's mind? Okay, we're at the fight. No, not the hand. Cinematic parallels. Don't throw away your weapon, Luke. You're still in the room with like your two greatest enemies, even if one of them is your dad. You know, just gonna say it. Bet a shield made of light would have blocked that lightning. I'm just saying. Advocator of the light shield. You know, no one really talks about bro picking up a whole ass other man with only one working hand. But it happened. I said it once and I'll say it again. So much of Star Wars is dogfights. Maybe someone could point out the scene where I missed where Luke would have learned this information. When did he learn the armor was keeping his dad alive? Like, does he just believe that? Did like Obi-Wan drop a little nugget on the side? Like, I don't remember hearing that Luke knows that the armor is like a respirator. I don't know. Oh, we're at Han learns the sister thing because he's a hurt, like, incel guy, simp, whatever. Did he has the correct reaction to that info? Like, I don't get this. He's the only one that seems to, like, have the right face to that. Now, it's weird. And the day is saved with a costume designer giving Luke a nice touch of white in his undercolor to prove there is good in him after all. Sure would be a shame if another evil force were to ever crop up in the galaxy for no reason. Well, that's a stupid foreshadowing that's not going to pay off for 2 years. This definitely is not a bad film, but if I were ever asked to rewatch Star Wars, I think I would really only ever enjoy the second one, and laughing about teddy bears in the third. First is just not my cup of tea. And in all earnest, I guess if I had to say, I guess it's worth it to sit down and watch Star Wars with your Star Wars friends about once, but like, much like with anything, when you sit somebody down, don't expect them to become like a fan of something. Like, hope and believe. I'm an optimist as it holds. But like, yeah, Star Wars is just not everybody's cup of tea, even though it feels like it's literally supposedly the lifeblood of media. Overall, like I said, second one is where I think the Star Wars would be best for me if that were it, but I can't even say all three movies have the same feeling. It feels like such a, I don't know if it's just like a flux in the media system, or if it's just George like feeling different vibes out, or I know all those edits exist, so maybe that causes the films to have these different vibes too, but like, I don't even think they have the same like lighting feel, if I had to like be accurate about it. So like, all in all, yeah, that's watching Star Wars. Final conclusion, God, I don't want to like, it's one of those things where it's like, you can't just go, I don't see the magic, or some nonsense like that, but it's like, I get that it's quality for somebody, and I guess that's what's most important. But with that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and may the 4th, or Revenge of the 5th, or Return of the 6th, I'm just gonna start making up holidays. Freaking, the 7th strikes back. There we go. Yeah, I got it. Whatever.